Hello everyone, my name is Maria and today I'm going to talk about the movie called Frozen 2. It is the latest Disney movie in the theaters and I suppose everyone is very excited here about it. So Disney released the first part, Frozen, back in 2013 and it was a huge success. Even to this day, it still stands proudly as number one all-time worldwide box office for digital animation movies. Frozen should certainly ring at least one bell in your brain. But let's get to the real question. Is Frozen 2 as iconic as its 2013 predecessor? Because of the nature of the question and the subjectivity of the answer, I will be looking at several aspects of the movie, such as plot, characters, animation, and music. Stay with me till the end of the video. And subscribe, of course. First of all, the plot. The one thing that checks out in this movie is the plot and how well it is planned. The movie begins with Anna's and Elsa's parents talking about their grandparents who died in the Enchanted Forest. I mean the grandfather who died in the Enchanted Forest, not far away from the kingdom of Arendelle. The sister's father was also there and he was possibly the only survivor that managed to get out of there before the spirits got mad, which is a whole other story that you will see in the movie. Many years later, Elsa starts hearing voices coming from the Enchanted Forest. What happens next? Ooh, mystery! Although Disney could work on the music and its timing, the plot actually doesn't feel all that stretched out and boring. The sequence of events is pretty clear. There is always dynamic movement and development in the plot. When Frozen 2's plot does have breaks, it's usually filled in by music, Olaf's surprisingly good humor, and Elsa and Anna actually starting to communicate, which they didn't really do in the first movie. If I were to compare the first and the second movie's plots, I wouldn't be able to do so because they're so different. You can't really compare them because they're just... one wouldn't exist without the other. Each has its own pros and cons. The music is good on its own, but it cannot be compared to Frozen. Well, you may like the music and everything in the cinema, and I actually heard some people humming along with the songs. I still feel like Disney tried and failed to recreate the crazy hype that surrounded Frozen's soundtracks, like Let It Go, for the first time in forever. Like, this became such a huge thing that Disney tried to recreate, and I think they could have done better here and tried to charm the audience in a new way, but it's okay. The characters, especially Olaf, weren't flat in any way. Well, Kristoff did seem a bit extra in some moments, especially when he was trying to propose to Anna. The cringe is still very real. The other characters seem to have developed and learned from their past mistakes and actually matured, you know? Olaf, as crazy as it sounds, kind of adopted the I'm 14 and this is deep behavior, and also quite a lot of trivia knowledge. And I'm glad. The jokes that he cracked were actually good. I enjoyed them. I unironically wanted this character a lot more in the movie. In the first one, like even to 8-year-old me, he seemed a bit repetitive, boring, and just unfunny, to be honest. But in this one, I wanted to see this character. Good job, Disney. Also, animations. Animations are top notch. There is nothing else to say. It is understandable why Disney would want to spend so much time and money investing in the animations that looked so real, because, as I previously mentioned several times, Frozen was a huge hit. People would show up for the sequel. The tiniest details were just so detailed. Goosebumps ran all over my body while Elsa was doing her magic, and all the snow and effects, beautiful, magnificent, very satisfied. 11 out of 10 in that aspect, for sure. The actors were Kristen Bell, Idina Menzel and Josh Gad, who played the main characters' voices. Frozen 2 was directed by Jennifer Lee and Chris Buck. The story was written by 5 people. Conclusion. Speaking from experience, I know that the sequels usually don't do as well or even close to as well as the first movies. Frozen 2 is not an exception, but if we were to compare it to other sequels, then we would see that it's actually a very competent player on the field. Overall, 8 out of 10. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. Give it a big thumbs up, subscribe to my YouTube channel, check out my Fiverr gig. Bye!